Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 8th of August. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director of Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is a weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Harvey Norman, Ordinate, St. Barbara and Appen. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you share this video on social media. Make sure you've signed up to our free newsletter. And just remember, any advice is general only. So Harvey Norman, so we'll switch to a weekly chart. What's become obvious is there's resistance at $4.50, and for the moment it's rejected off that resistance level. But if we have a look at the daily chart, the uptrend is still in place, so we do have higher highs and we still have higher lows. So it's holding on to this low, but basically a breach of $4 would be viewed as a negative. Ordinate, so if we have a look at the weekly chart, there was a tweezer, what we refer to as a tweezer top formation. So it's almost like a double top, price rejection up here, couldn't get going, and then it started to break down. So that was the confirmation, and obviously the downside is it's accelerating on the downside, just like the rest of the market. Good volume on the way up here, so I mean that is a positive, but I think it needs to do a lot more work. So I'd be keeping an eye on the $7.50 level. If we sort of see it try to go there and reject again, then clearly it's going to fall even further. St. Barbara, just trading really well since June, so not too much to add with this one. I mean, nice movements on the way up, fairly sort of flat pullbacks. There was potentially resistance here as it came into the gap, but it's managed to push higher. So I think it should continue to head higher, and I think the obvious target would be that $4.50 level for it to fill that gap that was created in March. Now Appen, so obviously big tumble this week. Up until then it was trending fairly well, so fairly sort of low volatility moves, and then obviously volatility's come back in, volume kicking in on the way down. So I don't think that it'll bounce back very quickly from here. I think it needs to pull back a bit further, and I'll just be looking at the obvious. There's an obvious support level here at 22, but there's also the gap just under 20. So somewhere between sort of 20, 22 is where I'd be looking to step in and buy it, not at current levels at 25. All right, well, that's it for this week. If you have a request, make sure you send it through.